Hey there, this is the AI Guy, the channel where we show you how to use AI to optimize your life. Today, we will be going over the basics of AI, how it works, and how it can be used. So the first question is, what exactly is AI? Here, I have a quote from Britannica, which sums it up. AI is the ability of a digital computer or computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. So what does that actually mean? In today's world, much of what people refer to as AI should actually be called generative AI or an LLM. An LLM stands for a large language model. These types of AI models are designed to understand, generate, and interact with human language. To make these work, it takes massive amounts of data. Other common AI applications that you may have heard of or used include image generation, speech and audio processing, robots, chatbots, recommendation systems, autonomous cars, video game intelligence, and even predictive analytics. Here, we'll briefly go over some generative AI or LLM basics so that you understand how these work. Generative AI or LLMs are models that are trained on very large and vast amounts of text. These models take the input text and break it into small pieces that are called tokens. Tokens can be things like words, part of words, phrases, or even individual characters, depending on the type of model used. From here, the model converts these tokens into numerical vectors. Then, these vectors are processed in what is called a neural network. A neural network is a model that does calculations and finds patterns and relationships between these tokens. To generate an output, the model predicts what the next token should be based off of its training. To summarize, the LLM is working to make a response of what it thinks will be the most likely next word or sequence of words to answer your question or prompt. The next important thing to note is the different categories of AI. First up are narrow AIs. These specialize in one specific task but cannot do other tasks. Examples of this that you've probably seen but maybe not even realized that they were AI is Netflix recommendations. For example, when Netflix shows you a movie or a TV show that it thinks you might like, and also autonomous cars. These narrow AIs are great at what they were designed for, but outside of that, they can't do much. Next up is generative AI. Generative AI creates content like text, images, and music. A couple examples of this that you might have heard of is ChatGPT or the many different generative AI tools to create images. Generative AI is the next step in AI as it can create new things that can be useful. And finally, there's general AI. We're not really here yet. This general AI could be AI that could think like a human for any type of task. Again, this has not yet been created, but it is a potential for the future. The type of AI that is all the rage today is generative AI. And here I've listed a few tools that you may have heard of. The first one is ChatGPT. ChatGPT played a very large role in the AI boom upon its launch in 2022. Although it wasn't the first generative AI tool, it is one that made the biggest splash. ChatGPT was developed by OpenAI. Next up is Gemini. Gemini was unique as it was initially not trained only on text, but also on images, audio, and video, which is very unique and different for that time. It was developed by Google and can be seen in many different Google products today. Lastly is Copilot. Copilot was developed by Microsoft, and it is integrated now into many of the Microsoft Office tools like Teams, Excel, Word, and much more. There are many tools these days that use generative AI, and you might not have even noticed it. First up is Grammarly. Grammarly is a tool to help you have better grammar and to make your writing sound better. Grammarly is now using AI integrated into the tool to enhance your writing even more. Next up is Amazon. Whenever you go on Amazon, you normally get product recommendations. Amazon has been using AI to make these product recommendations based on your browsing history. In a more general sense, smart replies are also a form of generative AI. You might be noticing now that when you're texting someone or emailing someone, it is suggesting to fill in what you're already saying and end your sentence. This is another example of generative AI. And lastly is AI summaries. You might have seen these many different places, but one popular place is seeing these on Google. Now, when you search on Google, you often see an AI summary at the top of the page that gives you a brief overview of what you're searching for. To end off this AI basics video, we have a few key things to consider. First off is that AI is not perfect and will not be for a long time. If you have used AI on your own, you've probably noticed that it can be prone to errors, but it is improving. Secondly is that AI can hallucinate. This means that AI can make things up which are not true or factual. With this, it is very important to make sure that you fact check the responses that AI is giving you. Next, it's important to know that AI can be subject to bias. There are still people behind these tools who are creating them, and there's still data used to feed these tools. With this, it is important to understand how these models were trained to make sure that you can reduce the impact of bias. And then last year, we have a few key bullet points to consider about the future of AI. According to Bloomberg, generative AI alone is expected to be a $1.3 trillion market by 2032. Generative AI and AI in general is a booming market and is one that will only continue to grow in the future. And lastly, as you may have already noticed or you will notice, AI will have an impact on all of our futures and has been already. Thanks for joining the AI Guy today. The AI Guy is your host for using AI in your daily life. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.